Send out to the Ramos Law Hotline. Car accident, you need Ramos Law. Medical doctor and attorney, ramoslaw.com. We're joined, as we are every Thursday, from the kitchen of one Jeff Legwold of ESPN.com. Hello, Leggy.
Good morning.
Good.
That's where I cook.
Yeah. Oh, are you gonna cook up some takes for us?
I just cook up the info right now.
What's the info exiting Indianapolis?
There's a lot of fast guys in the draft. I'll just leave it at that. They like set records everywhere.
Is that what do you think this is? Is this just the evolution genetics thing?
Genetics.
Like you got
it's my 39th combine, so I've seen the players 39 years ago and I've seen the players now. They certainly, in the early days nobody trained for the combine. Mike Mamula was really the first guy to show up after having trained running the 40, doing the cone drills. He was the first guy to sort of crack the combine code. And since then, guys come more ready. But this was a fast group.
Yeah.
And the averages were the fastest because inexplicably, the slower guys, the guys who really should have, elected not to run. And the faster guys were like, whatever, we'll just run anywhere. And they did that.
Just a quick follow-up, because there's one guy that I was really interested to see if the Broncos would make a run at, and that's Kenyon Sadiq out of Oregon. He runs a 4.39. That's done now, right?
Yeah, good. Actually, I would say, and I know he probably wakes up 4 out of 10 days wishing he had never said the word Joker here, but because we constantly ask him about it now. But the Vanderbilt tight end has the look of that player. He's a former quarterback, Eli Stowers, former quarterback, and athletically almost every bit athletic as Sadiq. And, another guy proven in a big conference, SEC conference. He went against the best linebackers and safeties in the draft. So there is that athletic tight end, and probably in the range they could get him if that interests them.
I'm curious, Jeffrey, you come up with your top 100 every year. Does the results of the combine affect your order of business there? Do you make changes after you watch a guy shine or perhaps fall flat on his face?
Actually, Vic, it's more the medical information I hear about at the comp that moves people. The workout, it's great on TV and it's a lot of interest. I mean, there are tons of people in the stadium now coming with get the tickets and watch the workouts. But the teams don't move the guys that much after the workouts. It's more of a confirmation, and with all the electronic tracking now, they have a better idea of how fast guys are before the combine. But when you see how a guy runs, some guys look labored when they run, some guys are smooth, and that kind of stuff they take note of. But as far as moving guys whole rounds or something after a combine workout, that doesn't happen very often unless it's more of a football character. You didn't do the work before the combine. They may punish you for that.
Jeff Legwold with us, ESPN.com. All conversations with Leggy are brought to you by the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, IBEW Local 68. Start with a job and with a career. All I've heard, not just now, but really all college football season, is there's Fernando Mendoza and then a giant gap and then everybody else. If you had to guess right now, because people always overvalue quarterbacks, how many get drafted in the first round?
Maybe 2, And I think even for me, the second one won't be a first rounder. But
Simpson?
Well, I mean, I don't know yet where I'm going to put my second quarterback. Simpson is the guys whose name you hear the most. And he did throw at the combine. So that was good on his part. I think for some quarterback coaches, a healthy Nussmeier is intriguing. Everybody knew he was hurt this past season, but he revealed at the combine he did it the second day of fall, running back A and running back B. Then okay, I'll bite for the big money contract at running back. But to go big for Brees Hall or Kenneth Walker or anybody else, and then say RJ Harvey is a big part of the offense, I think that's a tough one financially because you can spend that money on people who might touch the ball more, receiver, tight end, or, even you need starters at inside linebacker right now, or you have a big donut in your defense.
Okay, so back to the running back. Would it make
Yeah.
sense? Could they actually get somebody in the first or second round to fill that position? And who are the targets you might have in mind for the Broncos at running back?
That the 30th pick is basically a second rounder. So when I look at okay, who would they put there? I think beyond the first round, I think the Arkansas guy gets a long look. Mike Washington,
Fast,
a bigger back. I mean, he's one of the fastest guys that heavy to run at the combine.
Isn't he like 6'2" or 6'3"? Like tall
Yeah, he's
too?
6'2". He's a big back, and he would be a nice compliment. The thing I liked about him is his game video said a lot about him before he even got to the combine. This isn't, hey, that guy really worked out awesome at the combine, let's hand him the ball. This guy was a good player in the SEC, and he has the game tape that backed up the workout. That's the thing I look for at the combine. But to me, he was the most athletic beyond Jeremiah Love, who the Broncos would love to have, because 32 teams would love to have that guy. But unless they trade 29 picks up, they're not getting him. So I'd be looking at the bigger backs beyond that, because again, you want a compliment. You don't want RJ Harvey and then another guy like RJ Harvey.
Could I throw out a name, and this is going to be super nerdy and specific, but trying to be a good moral support for my wife who watches the Huskers every weekend. Emmett Johnson looked like an impressive back who could run between the tackles for a later round pick. Is he somebody that you think is all right?
Yeah, and I just finished watching him yesterday a bunch. So again, fits that mold. I think there are better athletes at the position and who are more comfortable with sort of the Broncos way of doing the run game. Now, we don't know what that scheme's going to look like, because that was the big thing. Sean Payton was wandering down the hall, day one of the offseason, the day after they lose, talking to coaches about was how they're going to fix the run game. So, but he actually had one of the best moments of the combine, and he walked in the media area and got up mistakenly got on Jeremiah Love's podium. They got podiums with the signs on the front, and he mistakenly miscounted, and he walked up and he started talking, and people started asking him questions who didn't know that was Emmett Johnson. And somebody from the league said, "Hey, that's podium 4. You're on podium 3." And then he looked out and said, "Y'all thought I was Jeremiah," and then he walked off. It was hilarious. I thought it was really funny.
That's great.
All right, so running back, I agree with you. You got to get a different type of back. Then there's this tight end situation. Evan Ingram is considered a tight end, but he looks like a receiver. Is it the position player, or is it the way they use the position? What's the problem in Denver? And could Davis Webb utilize Evan Ingram differently next year?
Yeah, that's the issue. Is you got Ingram obviously can get open and get the ball. I mean, a guy had 50 catches or whatever, so he can get the ball. Their issue is they had 3 touchdowns from the entire position group, and not one of them, not one, averaged more than 9.2 yards a catch.
Yeah.
That's the issue. It's not getting them the ball. It's what happens after. So, the two-way tight ends, the bigger guys, they're harder to find in the draft. Like Cade Otton would be a guy in free agency, I think fits that more two-way, a little bigger, can play in line if they want him to.
Is he the Tampa? Tampa?
He's the Tampa guy.
Okay.
And he catches the ball. It gets open on crossers, shallow crossers, seam routes, all of the things that are in Sean Payton's offense for the tight end. So I would look for a bigger guy in free agency, and then maybe in the draft, one of the athletic movers. And that's sort of the combo you want. And then if you have those two players and Ingram, I think you're suddenly very sturdy at tight end.
Do you think this is a possibility, Leggy? Because I know that there's one rule in the Sean Payton offense, and I know Davis Webb's taken over, but he's still going to have an influence. You have to be 6'3" to be a wide receiver in this offense because Marvin Mims can't get on the field despite production. So I know somebody who's available who's 6'3" and averages 22 yards per catch, and that's Alec Pierce. Do you think that that's a possibility they'd be sniffing around him this free agency period?
They certainly should, but that's the big money. He's going to get big money, and the Broncos obviously have big money, but.
What is it?
That's the kind of receiver they need.
Just sorry to jump in. What is it with him? And look, he has a 1,000-yard season last year, but he's not an 80-catch, 1,100-yard guy. He's a 45-catch, 1,000-yard guy. Why doesn't he get the ball more often if he's so effective when he gets it?
Probably just the guys who run the extended routes takes longer for them to free. So depends on how long the quarterback's got to find it,
right.
or before he hits the top of the route. His top of the route, the other three guys hit their top of the route 5 steps ago. So
right.
that's some of it too. And before he got hurt, Daniel Jones was getting hammered, by pass rushers. So some of it is just a factor of that, and some of it is, when guys run intermediate deep a lot, you're not going to have the volume that the other guys are.
How much of a player will the Broncos be on the first couple of days of free agency?
I think they have very specific guys they've targeted, Vic. So, I think they're very active. This regime is very active about getting those players as quickly as. I mean, they signed Ben Powers and McGlinchey 2 seconds after the green light went on. So that they'll be active in that 3-day windup, the so-called tampering period, where you can start framing out deals. Yeah, well, you can just frame deals out. Nobody can sign them, and you can't give guys a physical to make sure you're right before free agency opens. So, but they'll be framing stuff out.
You just can't touch.
Yeah, and you can even say, "I'll see you tomorrow," type of thing. But you just can't sign any paperwork.
Jeff Legwold, ESPN.com, joins us every single Thursday. Just last couple of things here. When it comes to what they're looking for in the offseason, we know it's the skill position talent everybody wants to upgrade. But if they keep their pick at number 30 overall, what odds do you give that that's going to be a defensive player? Because Sean Payton, I think, has only taken a couple skill position guys in his career in the first round.
And it's a strength of the board. I try to warn people, just because you want a receiver doesn't mean you should take one and leave 28 better graded players on the board. I just don't think that's how teams operate or should operate. So the strength of the board is going to be a defensive player, because that's the first 3 rounds of the draft are pretty heavy defense in my mind. I mean, there could be more safeties go in the first round than running backs. So, that just tells you what it looks like. I think inside linebacker, given the number of people they talk to at the combine, formally, every team talks to every player at the combine. So all the 963 reporters who keep asking, every player, did you talk to the Bengals? Did you talk to? Yeah, they talk to everybody. That's why it's the combine. But I think inside linebacker that would be a grade that fits that spot. If the Vandy tight end's there, I'd sure take a long look at that. I don't know that he will be, but if he was, I think that would be a quality pick too. And a lot of people are mocking him for a safety, and there's a ton of talent there, and that's a special teams player, and it's a lot of things you can do with a big-time safety.
30 seconds here. I know that, for quarterbacks, appearance, how you carry yourself is all something that factors in and matters. If you're an offensive lineman and you have a mullet with bright red hair and a mustache like Jennings Dunker has, do you think looking like this as an offensive lineman, does it improve your draft stock? Because it feels like Quinn Miners, it really helped him.
I think you move about 10 slots when you have the lush mane like that. I mean, come on. Plus, he's a Big Ten lineman. There's nothing better. You got
Yeah.
a mullet. You got a mullet guy from the Big Ten working.
Dude.
That's all you need.
If you tell me this guy played on the offensive line for the Iowa
know,
Hawkeyes, I'm in.
I will say that's half the guys I knew in high school right there. I mean,
That's the guys
that's the
Leggy
bottom
hung
line.
around with.
Yeah.
Leggy, you're the best. Thanks for the info as always. We'll talk next week.
See you, fellas.
Jeff Legwold, ESPN.com, always bringing that knowledge with a capital K. One last keyword coming your way in just a second. Stick around.
Hey, you ever turn your thermostat up and nothing happens? The heat never changes? Well, it's probably something with your capacitator or thermal cable cobble. I have no idea what I'm talking about. The furnace doesn't work. Call people to fix the furnace. Call normal people that can fix things like this. And the best I know, AAA Service Plumbing, Heating, and Electric. Right now, they have a $49 furnace safety and efficiency inspection that prevents breakdowns, improves efficiency, ensures that your furnace is safe to run all winter. So don't mess around with it. Don't think you can fix it because you probably can't. Call the pros today. Set up an appointment. AAAtoday.com. Pretty simple. AAAtoday.com.
All right, one final keyword today on this Ticket Thursday. Chance to win tickets to see Denver as they host Philadelphia on St. Patty's Day in 2 weeks. Text the keyword butt kiss.
You what?
Like Dick Butkus. Do I spell this one out for him, or do I stay with my theme of look it up yourself?
You want to go all Kreckman and go, it's butt kiss, Andy?
Butkus. The Wilhite Law Firm gives you chances to win big on and off the court. Visit them at wilhitewins.com. But again, this hour's keyword is butt kiss.
We're going to do a butt kiss draft, Andy. You either pick your favorite butt or you pick your favorite kiss.
I was literally going to say top 5 of his first name, but I don't think you can do that. Top 5 Richards, Andy. That's the only way. That's the only go-to that I have for a Kreckman is just pick something we're talking about and say, top 5 Richards.
But it's always a fantasy draft, so it has to be a Richard draft, Andy.
Richard Petty.
Richard Simmons.
Dude, a lot of people did this. Did you ever listen? There's this podcast on what happened to Richard Simmons.
No, I did not listen to that podcast.
No, listen.
I did not listen to the What Happened to Richard Simmons podcast.
But it's Vic. There's this whole conspiracy that he died or something like that, or was murdered, and people are covering up for because nobody's seen him in years. There's been no public appearances of Richard Simmons. So yeah, I got sucked into a Richard Simmons podcast. What do you want me to do?
Oh, okay.
I guarantee you, texters, if you know what I'm talking about, just say the name of that podcast on the text line. You will be shocked. It was a huge thing years ago. Huge. Anyway. Whatever happened to the era of infomercial workout video guy?
Dude, that was my era. For those who grew
Yeah.
up in the 80s and 90s, and what ESPN was before what it is today, ESPN had games, had an occasional sports center. But the mornings on ESPN were spent watching guys and gals, yes, do that for 3-4 hours. That's all they did. There was this one dude, oh, God, help me out. Fellow olds, gathered together, fellow olds. Who was the old, he was like a Middle Eastern guy with a thick accent, and he carried the torch for the morning workouts. And I can't remember his name. And dude, I wouldn't even work out. I would just watch this guy because I loved his accent. He was just so good at it. So good at instructing. He was like a drill sergeant.
Hang on, let me see.
As soon as you come up with the name, one of my fellow olds will come up with it.
Gilad Janklowitz?
That's him. Elad. That's him. Elad was, dude.
Oh my goodness, he's wearing like a mesh shirt and a Speedo.
Yes. Elad was the man. You did not mess around with Elad. When Elad came on the television, no matter what you're watching, you're paying attention.
The last one that I remember was probably Sean T. He was the last of a dying breed, right? The P90X guy?
Yes.
That
T-
one was big for a minute.
Well, Sean T was Insanity, though. He wasn't.
Oh, he was Insanity.
Yeah.
He wasn't P90X.
You're exactly right, because I've tried both of those workouts. Insanity's a little step above P90X.
Okay.
P90X is that guy that
Tony
doesn't
Horton.
age. Yes. Have you tried that, by the way?
No, I can't do the workout video thing.
That's hard, dude.
Like I said, Vic, it's like when David Goggins is yelling at people. I'm like, I don't need you to scream at me. I'm just trying to get a sweat in.
Dude, give me just one P90X ab ripper X workout. Do
Oh,
one.
I'm sure they're
And come
intense as
talk to me.
hell. Like I'm not saying it's not effective. Dude, my mom, way back when I was younger, she fell for this one. Whatever, you put the little slip over your shoes, Vic, and you do this move right here.
Oh, God.
Like the speed skater thing, whatever that is.
David on the text line, man, you are my spirit animal. 2 words, Kiana Tom. Kiana was the other one. After Gilad, Kiana came on.
Hold on.
And Kiana would be on the beach in Hawaii somewhere.
Whoa.
Yes. Yeah, Kiana. Uh-huh. That's what ESPN was.
Whoa.
And let me tell you something. The innocence of those days at ESPN. That's when I think the network was at its finest.
I don't have, what's the bike called with the video? Peloton.
Peloton.
I don't have a Peloton, but I've seen videos of one of those Peloton instructors. I'm in love with her. She stole my heart. It's her yelling at, get somebody out of the chat. Get them banned. That, whatever her name is, stole my heart. And then the people kept putting videos out of her yelling at people, and I was like, you know what? I don't want David Goggins yelling at me, but I don't know who she is. I'll get on the Peloton right now.
But you have to understand, that's all we had back then. That's the only source of. Today, if you want to work out, just go to Instagram or TikTok or, hey, give me a tricep workout, and you'll get 1,000 different workouts. Back then, all we had was Galad.
Hang on. Somebody says Denise Austin. Is that her name?
Yeah, she was another one.
Oh.
Yeah, but she wasn't, no.
I just saw a video, Vic, of bodybuilders from the, is it Mr. Olympia? Is that the bodybuilder thing?
Uh-huh.
From 1957. I swear to God, Vic, the footage is me. Going like this. Guys who look just like me. I'm just standing like this. Doing this. And I'm like, dude, I could have won. This is why I'm telling you, take me back to 1948.
Dude,
I
I think about that all
leading
the time.
the MLB in homers.
Dude, like when I'm watching 1883 and I'm like the Oregon Trail days, Civil War days, like did guys go work out? What'd you do for a workout? Like, would you show up and you got to feed? The genetics has gotten so out of hand today. All you have to do is watch the NFL Combine.
Oh, dude.
And every time.
Sorry, Vic. This is Kendall Toole. This is my girl. This is who I've fallen in love with.
Okay, I don't know who this one is.
I need to go buy a Peloton. Is what I got to go do.
Dude, if you want to, the fellow olds, throw up Kiana. Kiana started
do it for
a revolution.
Vic. Do it for Vic.
Yeah, Kiana started a revolution. What were those little weird socks they wore back? Those little fuzzy out, they put them outside the ankles.
The leg warmers?
Leg warmers, yeah.
You know what? Everybody would do something so noble with a time machine. I would just walk on Mr. Olympia's stage and win.
Ronald said, Ben Franklin invented the dumbbells, then worked out with them. Like, can you see Ben Franklin? What is this, Ben? It's the squat rack.
Yeah.
How does it work? Well, let me show you.
Who's this here? Who's this one?
That's
Vic's
Kiana.
girl.
Oh, that's Kiana Tom.
Yeah, Kiana Tom dominated ESPN.
Yeah, she's
mornings.
gorgeous. Vic, do you want to get ripped at any cost? That's what it says.
See, we like to think we're all, sophisticated members of society. We're just bonobos. We're just monkeys looking at pictures of.
Oh, look at the headline at the top. The exposed truth about steroids. How about that?
What year was that? What year was that magazine?
It's got to say something on there. Whoa. Okay. So a few things, some business we need to get to. Sorry, I was distracted by beautiful 1980s aerobics women, I suppose. But let's do this, Vic.
Do whatever it takes to win.
It's the Johnson Auto Plaza keys to the game. Johnson Auto Plaza. Experience the power of the plaza, where they have the keys to performance and style with Ram, Jeep, Chevy, Buick, and GMC, and a huge selection of used all in one place.
Johnson Auto Plaza.
Here's Moser, Lombardi, and Kane.
Look, they're in the thick of this big stretch here tonight, Vic, and it starts again with the Lakers tonight, 8 o'clock, right here, Altitude Sports Radio 92.5.
Well, who knows what tricks the Lakers have up their sleeve for Nikola Jokic tonight, right? Do you expect something different? Do you expect some, double team with a small and a big and sandwich joker and all that? Or they play him straight up? Who knows? Whatever it's going to be, the Nuggets have to be rally. They have to rally around him, and they have to get something from their role players tonight. You can't expect Jamal Murray to pump in 45 to bail you out. So the role players have to come through tonight. And frankly, I was hoping that they'd have Peyton Watson and or Aaron Gordon and or Spencer Jones available, but it doesn't look like those guys are ready yet. So you're going to have to make do with what you had in Utah. This begins a 7-game stretch that is absolutely brutal. Brutal. But this is it. This is what you wanted. This is you got home games in the month of March. You lose tonight and you drop to the 6th seed. The only way to prevent that is by not losing tonight. Get what you can out of your role players. That's how you'll win this game. It can't be just Joker and Jamal. That's how you win this game. And if you have Apple Vision Pro, put your goggles on and check out your boy tonight because I'll be working it.
Give Vic a kiss on those goggles. Keys to the game, powered by Johnson Auto Plaza. Get selection, service, and incredible savings on Ram, Jeep, Chevy, Buick, and GMC all at one location. Experience the power of the plaza at Johnson Auto Plaza. So, you mentioned it, Vic. This game is whether you're going to be in 6th place in the Western Conference or not. With a loss tonight, you drop to that, and you keep losing ground in this battle to try and get a home playoff game or a home playoff series.
The situation for the Nuggets, I hate to paint this kind of picture, but it speaks for itself. You have 7 games against winning teams, 7 games against playoff teams.
Yeah.
So you're swimming upstream now. You're trying to just survive. Every game matters so much. Every win matters so much. You have 2 back-to-backs, including tonight and tomorrow night.
I mean, look, man, a game and a half separates somebody from being in 3rd place or 6th place right now.
And remember how we referred to that Utah game as style points type of game?
Yeah.
There are no style points in these 7 games.
I agree.
You win by a bucket. You win by a point each game. Run.
You win 63 to 62, I don't care.
Exactly.
Like, whatever it takes.
100%. Take it and run. By the way, blood donations are needed. Nuggets fans helping patients in Colorado. Join Vitalant and the Nuggets. Save lives this March. Schedule your donation at vitalant.org/Denver Nuggets. That's vitalant.org/Denver Nuggets. Go to that website for a chance to win an autographed Nuggets jersey.
Do you think somebody like AG plays tomorrow?
I'm hoping. I don't know for sure. AG was working out yesterday at practice. Did not see Peyton Watson. So, how do you deal with these soft tissue injuries? How many minutes do you give them? How hard do you go? Because they're going to hit the ground running, not walking, running. You're playing really great competition here.
Look, I'm not a team doctor. I'm not a physical therapist. But does the taxing when you first return on an injury like that actually matter? Or is it healthy? You know what I mean? Like, it's either you're healthy or it isn't it? It's good or it's not.
That's what I'm saying. You have to, at some point, you just have to say, okay, we're going.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. You can't. It's hard to be cautious playing a game that's heavily contested against this time of competition.
Yeah.
It's not an exhibition game.
Well, I think about it this way, Vic. Like, Aaron Gordon had June to October where his hamstring was resting. And then it still blew out. So, I mean, I don't know how much more time is going to help stuff like this.
Do you realize that if the Nuggets win tonight, it will be the first time since January that they've won consecutive games?
Good Lord.
What's his salary?
He's making it. I know it's at least decent, but what does that matter?
I'm just
You need
curious.
a player.
Just asking the question.
He signed a 4-year. Just signed it last year. A 4-year, $110 million extension. So 28.5 a year.
So he would be the highest paid Bronco player
Yes.
by a lot.
Yes. But he also would probably be their best wide receiver by a lot. That too. So that's some breaking news out of the NFL. Again, the compensation's not totally detailed yet, but mid-round compensation is what was said.
As frustrating as the Broncos season was for it to end the way it did, imagine being the Bills. How many different times have they knocked on the door? How many different weapons? How many different things? How many different variations? They got a generational quarterback.
They're officially in that. I would say, Vic, remember the year before the Avs won the Stanley Cup? Where they were there, always felt like they had a shot, had one of the best players in the world, and it ended with McKinnon saying, "I haven't won bleep
anything." Yeah,
and then the next year they won. There was a fleeting feeling that's like, is this ever actually going to happen with all the talent on this team? And thankfully they broke through and they got it. But that's got to be where Buffalo's at right now. Because
keep adding talent.
Think about last year though. Could you find a situation more tailor-made for the Bills to get to the Super Bowl than not having to go through Lamar Jackson or Joe Burrow or Patrick Mahomes or anybody like that? They had to get through Bo Nix and Drake May, who good quarterbacks in their own right, but they ain't Mahomes.
And they had the game.
Yeah. What was it? Was it 5 turnovers from Josh Allen?
They
4?
had the game.
Yeah.
And then they didn't.
Yep.
And then McMillan stole it.
Exactly right.
Hey, want to add this. Steve sent us this earlier. Right now, do you know that the 10 worst teams in the NBA, the bottom 10, are currently on a combined losing streak of 44 straight games? Right? What I mean by that, Brooklyn's lost 9 in a row, Indiana's lost 7 in a row, Utah's 7 in a row, on and on. The 10 worst teams are all losing, combined losing streak of 44 games, which tells you everything you need to know. The race is on to lose as much as you can, which is where I want to pinpoint, this is why tanking is so volatile and so inconsistent, and it hurts certain teams, because I could look at every one of these teams and say to you, it's all about the schedule. If you played Dallas or Brooklyn or Washington or Indiana or Utah, if you had several games against those teams in November and December, they weren't trying to tank in November and December. Some of them weren't.
Yeah.
They were trying to win, correct?
Yeah.
So they put forth a better product earlier in the season, correct?
Yep.
Thereby a tougher opponent. But when the season wears down, they give up. So it is so much more advantageous to play these teams in February, March than it is in and therein. So tanking not only affects the team that is tanking, it affects the opposition.
Well, let me just say this. Can I provide another how to fix tanking sort of proposal? Would you mind? If I told you this, the lottery is now going to be shrunk to the worst 4 teams in the league. That's who gets your shot. Everybody else after that just slots in where they slot in. And you need something extra here.
I like that.
Like, you have to have a way to incentivize teams to not lose. So maybe you say if you finish, what would that be, 5th through, how many teams get in the lottery? Vic, help me. 5th through
15? 14?
16?
There's 8 and 8 in the playoffs. There's 16 in the playoffs, 14 teams
14.
in the lottery.
So if you finish 5 through 14, you have to throw them a bone somehow for not being in the lottery. But if you shrink that to like, hey, only the worst 4 teams are going to have a shot at the first overall pick, maybe that would help. Like, why is Milwaukee out here? They're the 20th team in the league as far as record? What are they trying to do? You aren't going to get the number 1 pick. You shouldn't be able to anyway.
I'll tell you what they're trying to do. They're trying to do what Dallas did last year. Dallas had what? What was their 6%? What was it?
Yes,
Something
it was
ridiculous. 3%?
really low, yeah.
And they got the number one pick?
This is what I'm saying. You can't have that. That can't be a thing. Because Dallas wasn't trying to win either after that. I think if you limit that to like a handful, like 4 teams, the worst 4 have a shot at number 1. Everybody else after that, you are where you are, and somehow throw them a bone. Like, I don't know what you do. Maybe they get an extra $5 million in cap space or something. Like, you got to do something for them. But it's just, that's not going to work. How about this, Vic? Bottom 4 choose, and then every team after that gets any spending cap space the following year. An idea?
In the playoffs right now, and vying for the playoffs right now, and vying for position in the playoffs. It would be a nice time to play 7 straight games against those those teams that are trying to lose.
Yeah.
Those teams that are trying to lose.
Yeah.
This would be a good time. The schedule could not have been more unforgiving than it is right now.
It was literally, like, depending on how you look at it, Vic.
And when people say, well, you got to play them at some point. Yeah, it's easier to play these teams now than it is in December when they're trying to win.
Well, how about this? Very simple. Would you rather have played the Chiefs last year, Vic, in week 6 or week 15?
Obviously.
Yeah, it's the same concept. Like, everybody knows what's up. But regardless of that, got to get a win tonight. You have to. You can't, if you drop this game to LA, you then flip to the 6th seed in the Western Conference, and you're staring up at everybody else.
No.
Now,
Well,
I'm not
easier
thinking
said than done. You're not going to have 2 of your best defensive players again tonight. And you're going to be taking on that triumvirate of Austin Reeves, LeBron James, and Luka Doncic. By the way, Luka Doncic.
You like getting nailed by the king?
I'm continually reminded since Luka joined the Lakers, he has not lost to Denver. Since he played in games he's played.
Let me tell you something about the Lakers, or the Lakers, though. By the way, you got a construction team going on at your house right now?
Pretty much.
Here's who they've beaten. Like, the Lakers haven't played good basketball either. Their losses are to teams like the Celtics and the Spurs and the Thunder and the Knicks and the Cavs and the Clippers. Do you know they haven't beaten a team in the Western Conference that is above the play-in since
Denver.
Yeah,
I know this. Yeah, you're right. I mean, they're almost the way they've played of late and defensively. The Nuggets are better defensively. They're trying defensively. The Lakers' problem all season has been their defense. It is just non-existent.
We got a couple of minutes here. Scott Hastings is on the phone. He said he wants to talk to us about the schedule. Hi, Scotty.
Hey, guys. Hey, Vic. You just mentioned you're talking about the bottom guys, and the guys trying to get in the lottery. You'd like to play them next 7. Look at the following 8 games after you go through this gauntlet of the next 7. Look at the next 8 because I think you get your wish the following 8 after these next 7.
So let's see. So after
So
that,
we
it's
got
Philly,
after
Memphis,
that-
Toronto, Portland, Phoenix, Dallas, Utah. Yeah, there's a bunch of them mixed in there.
Yeah, you're right. You only hope at that point that those teams don't suddenly, hey, we got to win for some reason. It's so much
that they don't
timing.
get fined $500,000,
Exactly.
Scotty.
like between now and then, Scott, all those teams are fined so much money that they're forced to win.
Well, that's what the league's trying to do. Listen, you guys got some good ideas, I think there's a lot of good ideas floating around. The problem is, and especially when you come up with